What's up, everybody? It has been ages since I sat in front of the camera making a video for you guys. And this video is about spring cleaning. It has become spring, the new season has begun. Everybody's focusing on the outside, and that's why I'm going to change, because I'm going to focus on the inside. I want to clean the interior of my sister's car. Shout out to Jessica, thank you for giving me another fantastic example how to do a demonstration and a very nice before and after how we are going to clean this car. The challenge was simplicity. I am going to go a little bit off-label with some of the products that you might know or might not know. I'm going to give you some explanation about why I'm going off-label. For example, we are going to use Glico on plastics. And for an explanation about that, I will come back later into the video. And before we start, we are going to put on a mask, some glasses and some gloves, because we are going to start vacuuming. And you will find out that in this video, I spent the majority, if not the most of the time, doing vacuuming. And for vacuuming, first we need to remove the seats. I'm sorry, not the seats. The mats. We have to remove the mats. And the mats have to be treated separately. How I'm going to treat them in a couple of different ways, I will show you further on in the video. For the products, we have the fabric seat dust buster, we have the floor carpet dust buster. We are taking a very simple detail brush to agitate some stuck dust, and a very simple vacuum cleaner, because it doesn't need to be something special. It needs to be something that can suck. And I mean sucking as can suck up dirt, not suck as it is a bad product. And the first thing is vacuuming. I always start from the top to the bottom. I'm starting at the headliner first. The headliner does not contain very much dust because dust tends to fall down, doesn't rise up, but still there could be some possibility from dust. And I like to work from top to bottom, making sure that anything I loosen from the top back to the bottom is going to drop on the floor. So I finalize on the floor. And I'm not going to use any chemicals in the beginning. I want to clean the car as much as I can. I want to deplete all the options I have with vacuum cleaning. Though I want to get rid of the most of the dust, especially those fabric cleaner dust that we have, these dust brushes, the floor carpet and the fabric seat dust buster and the floor carpet dust buster. These are what I call chemical killers, because if you use these properly and you use these to their full extent, find out that you have less chemicals to use, less water to use, less sucking to do. As in extracting, I'm sorry, not sucking, extracting on the outside. And everything I do inside this vacuuming operation is to get rid of anything that's stuck. I just agitate and I keep the vacuum cleaner very close by to make sure that I take off every dust that I can before I start making anything wet or using any type of a chemical. Now, this is the part where it blew my mind a couple of years ago, when Franco taught me this. The dust brush, lifting dust from the seat, lifting dust so much from the seat that we can sacrificially remove that much dust that is going to diminish the amount of chemicals we need to get rid of the dust. We are the main problem of getting dust inside of the car. Everybody has this situation where they clean their car completely, the best that they can. They close the doors, they go to bed, the next day they open the doors, there's already dust on the screens, there's already dust on the dash again. It is a never-ending story. It is a repeated process that should be repeated, in my opinion, every week. I mean, every week you should take a vacuum cleaner through the car. Simply about 10 minutes, 15 minutes will save you the majority of time in the future when you are going to clean a little bit deeper. But cleaning every week with a vacuum cleaner about 10 to 15 minutes is something that anybody can do. And if you then wait too long, then the dust brush comes into effect, because then you need to agitate to get rid of that dust. Use a flicking motion. It's like a motion with the wrist, flick of the wrist. That flick of the wrist, because of the combination of the, the alloy, is going to help us remove that dust from the surface. I've depleted all the options with the dust brush. Now I'm going to move to the carpet. I'm using the carpet and the brush head that's on most of the vacuum cleaners. Most of the vacuum cleaners have a type of a head like this, and they help us remove and agitate brushing at the same time. Now I'm not going to go for deep cleaning, Not everything in this video is going to get a deep clean because I have limitations. In the studio I'm working at in this clip, I have no air, no compressed air. So I have to do everything manually with the vacuum cleaner. Now I'm using the floor carpet brush immediately to agitate stuff that is stuck on the fabrics. Sometimes you have dried in food residue for food rests, something that dried up that used to be liquid. And the agitation of that brush might be enough to loosen up the fibers so much to remove them without chemicals. And this is where Labocosmetica takes a completely different approach. Because instead of trying to figure out how we can sell the most chemicals to you, we found out ways that you can save chemicals, save time, and a lot of working, especially a lot of working. Dustbrush always helps loosen up fibers, so if there is any incrustations from old APCs, old fabric cleaners, surfactants that are sticking still to, this agitation is very easy and it is loosening up the fibers, making the chemicals that we are going to use go deeper into the fiber itself, meaning that we can have more effective cleaning. Because the goal of this system is to save you time. A 2 pH system can save you about 40% of normal processing time inside of an interior detail. The operation I performed on my sister car is no more than 2 hours. 1 hour almost for vacuum cleaning, and then the combination of the leather, the windows, and the fabric cleaning. But I will show you why I approach this in a different way, because I have limitations in the studio I have right now. It's a studio of a friend of mine, Sam, from Auto Glass Detailing. Hopefully this year I will take over that studio to do some extra filming. And we're going to move to the floor carpets. And as you will see that I'm not going to use any compressed air because I don't have it. I ordered a massage gun because I saw it online, this massage gun that vibrates, to vibrate it out of the seat, or in this case the carpet. And now I'm using the mini polisher, the Flex PXE, and I'm just putting it on speed 2, and then I'm rambling it against the fibers. Because even after this entire operation, I'm not even going to say that the carpet is clean. I've did this before on my Audi a couple of years ago, where I spent about 25 minutes only vibrating with the hand of a sanding machine to vibrate out. It took about almost 2 kilograms of sand coming out, and it was still not clean. So especially with these floor mats, don't spend too much time and please focus on getting it clean instead of making those stupid lines that just give the idea that it's clean. We are doing Labocosmetica. We are focusing that it's clean. Not looks clean, but is clean. Now I'm going to mix up my favorite dilution of Glico, 1 to 5, probably the dilution I use the most, not almost all the time. Rarely would I use 1 to 10. And I'm going to spray into the surface, and I'm not going to overly wet the surface. I'm going to take the top layer of the fabric. I'm not going to go extremely deep. I'm just going to take the top fabric fibers. I'm going to agitate them with the Duo. Duo, my one-step system. I don't use detail brushes anymore. It looks great on social media. This is professional cleaning, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we need to do. We need to generate a result, fast, easy, simple, and cheap if possible, that generates the most beautiful result that we can do. Now I'm just agitating. I'm not using force, I'm just brushing it back and forth. We have some luck that the contact of Glico with the dust will dissolve some of the minerals that are inside safely, because we don't have any harsh chemicals. It's lactic acid and glycolic acid. After I did the brushing with the Duo, I'm going to use a microfiber to get rid of the most of the chemicals, because this is what we call a dry application. For so far as I can tell you that this is a dry application, because we are not going to extract it or use any water to rinse it off. We are going to agitate this just with the microfiber to dry it as much as possible. Then, finalizing, making sure that the carpet is completely dry, we are going to use the normal vacuum cleaner with the normal setup. So this is the dry vacuuming. So the dry vacuuming is now going to open up those fibers even more. If they are not only completely fully open, they are going to open up, and then we are going to vacuum the seat, or vacuum the carpet in this case, and go back and forth until we have almost 99 to 100% dry. With that drying, we know that there is no fungus, no nothing, because we're not sanitizing anything yet. We don't have certain sanitizing certifications yet for Glico. Only Derma and Omnia 2.0 have sanitizing certifications by the ISO. This is one approach. This is fast, this is simple, this is cheap. It doesn't spend a lot of time, but the generation of a result is fantastic. The feel of the fibers after this step with Glico is going to feel amazing. It's not even going to feel like new, it's going to feel regenerated, like it's fluffy. You want to wear, you don't want to wear any shoes anymore. You want to feel your feet on these fibers touching the fabric, and then you feel the plushness, the looseness and the softness of these fibers regenerated by the application of Glico. I think this is my mat or is this my sister's mat? I'm not sure if this is my mat or my sister's mat, but I'm doing the same application. Spraying some Glico. And if you look closely, you see a difference with the former mat. I have Glico, this is my own mat. So my own mat has already been cleaned very many times. Instead of the one that you just saw with my sister's mat from the Audi, that is a different mat. And you see the foaming is a lot different with this mat because there's a lot less dust that is coming into contact, so we don't see that luminol effect brighten up with the agitation of the duo. The approach is exactly the same. I didn't vacuum it, I just blowed it out. I used the vibrations of the PXE to vibrate as much dust out as I can, do a light vacuum, and then apply the Glico. Use again the duo to divide the Glico and to scrub the fabric. After that, take the microfiber towel, keep rubbing until you're almost dry. And when you are almost dry, finalize it with the normal vacuuming, making it 100% dry. Now, before you start asking questions, if you do not wet that fabric very much, then there is not much to be sucked out or to be removed in wetness or in humidity, in liquid form. There is no need for a lot of removal. So that little bit of vacuuming that you are doing, there's not much moisture going inside of the vacuum cleaner, inside of the dust bag. I've tried it this many times, and as you can see, I have a very small vacuum cleaner. I don't need a big vacuum cleaner. I need the simple, I like simplicity, easy, fast. I tend to be a little bit lazy sometimes. Yeah, you know me. If there is a good result to be achieved with a lot of less physical effort, I will definitely do it, and I will definitely do it. Seriously. Now, this is the driver's side mat of my sister's car. Here we are going to do the 2 pH that is described on the bottle of Glico. The first application is Glico. Then we have processing in the combination with duo, agitation until we generate the cleanliness that we want. And now you see I'm wetting the surface a little bit more. There is a lot more chemicals compared to the former application, that is the dry application. This is the wet application because I'm going to use an extractor. I'm going to rinse this out. But before I do that, if you see a perfect demonstration further on in the video how I normally do a 2 pH, this is what we call on top of each other. So what I'm using now is Glico 1 to 5. I'm agitating the surface with the duo. Then I'm going to leave Glico. I'm not going to suck it out. I'm going to leave Glico and leave everything inside. When I'm done after that, of course, going to follow up with a different chemical, another side of the 2 pH. You might know it as to be the ductilate. In this case, it's a dilution of 1 to 10. It's going immediately on top of the Glico that's in the seat, or in this case, the carpet. It's mixing up the seat and the carpet a lot. I'm sorry for that. Don't want to generate any confusion. But this is exactly the same. Apply generously the ductilate 1 to 10 to the surface on top of the Glico. Agitate it one more time with the duo scrub. And I'm going to use the same duo scrub for the entire operation from all different products. And then we suck it all out, and I'm using a little bit of water to rinse and suck at the same time. Now, I have seen many videos where there is still a discolored substance coming from the carpet or the seat. Now, I know for sure if there is any discoloring, so if there is no white foam coming, if there's white foam coming out, we can generally say that there is no more dirt inside because the white foam is coming out. But as soon as it's still discolored water, liquid, foam, or whatever, there's still dirt inside. Now, these are floor mats, so please don't waste any time, don't use any high pressure. Just do this. This is the maximum that you can do. Make 2 rounds like this. As you can see, we have beautiful sucking out, and it's almost ready and clear. That means if I do another rinse, I probably take out any dirt or surfactants left to the side. So if you don't have ductilate and you're using a different fabric cleaner, it is very important to rinse this out. The downside of rinsing this out is that we have more moisture into the fabric itself, making the drying time longer. So cancel each other out and think about how much time you have for the drying, because if you have to put the car outside and it needs to be spinning it has to have its motor running for 5 hours, and you are consuming gas and putting the air conditioning on, hoping that everything is going to dry up before the customer comes. And there is no mold inside or any bacteria that are starting to grow again because you added moisture in a perfect condition for the bacteria or the mold to grow. Therefore, the return of the smell or the funkiness coming from the inside of the car. So, already a little bit off record, off label, because I'm going to start using Glico on the plastics. A little bit further on, I'm going to use it on a different side. The reason I'm going to do this is that soon you will see an introduction of this. We have been trying this product out for a couple of years now. We have had feedback coming back, and we see that this product perfectly well works in combination with the Duo Scrub, getting rid of any inorganic contamination. We know that 70% of the contamination in the inside of the car is inorganic or needs to be removed with an acidic product, in this case Glico. And I'm even using it on the pedals, and it's perfectly removable of all these dirts from the surface. In this case, I know for sure that anything inside of that pedal is probably inorganic, mostly sand. And the dilution now I'm using is 1 to 5, but you are even able to go up to pure with Glico if the contamination is so bad that you can use Glico still safely. Then I'm going to use Glico on the rest of the seat. Again on the freaking fabric, the floor carpet. Keep mixing this up, man. It's not like I'm professional. It's probably because I didn't make a video for a very long time. I'm going to use the same that I did on the mat, spraying Glico, scrubbing it with the Duo Scrub to maximum effect. Getting rid of anything inorganic or loosening up so much, because this is going to be a single step. I have to do this in a single step. There's no going to be any rinsing, anything, no duct lay on top of this. I just want to generate some cleanliness and some regeneration of those fabrics with the agitation. Then after that, we are going to agitate that with the microfiber, trying to dry it up as much as we can, so that we have less moisture, that we can use the normal vacuum cleaner to get rid of any moisture that is still left, and that leaves the fabric completely dry and regenerated. Gotta love these glasses, man. It's the Meta glasses. You get point of view in a way. It's perfect also for product testing, for the amazing products coming out later this year. Finally, we can say amazing again, because my favorite word is amazing. You hear me say it a lot. Now, it leaves a streak-free finish on the plastics. There is anything surfactant from any alkaline cleaner or any protectant is gone. That means we have almost a sterile surface for the follow-up of the protection that we are going to use. And you know me, when there is no protection needed, I will never use protection on the inside of the car. Sometimes it's needed, most of the time we do not, especially when there are children being transported in the car. That is why I do not understand ceramic coatings for the interiors that have PFAS. Why would you put something highly carcinogenic very close to a child that is eating, touching, and doing everything in the car? Still blows my mind, really. Pedals turned out perfectly, fantastic. Rubbing with the microfiber, anybody can do this. Doesn't need very much, but the result is absolutely mind-blowing. The feel of the fabric, I cannot explain to you. There is no word to describe it. You have to feel it by yourself. You have to feel and experience this for the first time to see what actually happens with the fabric after an application of Glico. Now, because I'm using the same Duo, the entire operation, cleaning it in between is very important. There is a point of no return if you become too dirty, but in this case, a duct lay application of 1 to 10 up to pure, if necessary, is very much welcome. And as you can see, it is easy to clean because it's highly chemically resistant, and it has a perfect hand application. It's very comfortable to use. A double application in this case of the Ductilay 1 to 10, a little bit of rubbing and scrubbing and rinsing, and it's back to new, and you can use it for another chemical. Because I'm using it in this case for Omnia, no, not for Omnia, for Glico, Ductilay, and Derma. Same duo scrub, Dutch guy. Gotta save some money, you know? Now the only part of this car, in this case my sister's car, is going to get a full application of the 2pH as I normally do the 2pH. First, we have done vacuuming until its full extent. We have used the dust brush to its full extent, meaning we have done anything mechanically and dry that we can do before we are going to use chemicals. First step, Glico 1 to 5, spray it onto the fabric. Don't worry about the leather. The leather can perfectly take the Glico. It is not a harsh chemical. Scrub it with the duo, agitate, scrub, whatever you want to call it. Some mechanical action with some low friction, because there's not much friction going on. The synthetic brushes are doing the work for you at a very high level. To the back seat first, and then go to the sitting part of the seat. Scrubbing it until we have generated that luminol effect. Sometimes you see a luminol effect, sometimes you do not. So don't worry if you don't see it, the product will still be working. Could also be that the seat is so clean that there is no luminol effect. That is also a high possibility. Now the reason I do this at the seat is I'm using Glico as an identifier. After the mechanical action, I'm going to suck it out without water rinsing. So I'm just going to suck it out. And I'm going to use the plastic head as an identifier. If I see discoloring any other than white foam coming from, I know for sure that there is some organic contamination left, because inside of Glico, there's 20% of detergent power, something like what a normal alkaline does. So it will identify to us exactly where that organic contamination is. So in case that there is, say, one lane of white foam and a little bit of brown in the middle and then white foam again, that is the only spot where I'm going to follow up with Ductilay. Meaning, if Glico shows only white foam, I'm not even going to do a Ductilay. So in this case, I'm using Glico not only to remove inorganic contamination, but also to identify where the organic contamination is. So I need to know where to use Glico, for Ductilay for the second step. Because if it's just this little spot, I just make a little bit of Ductilay at that little spot, I scrub it, I suck it, I'm done. No more waiting, no more drying, no more nothing. Now in this case, I know my sister has been not time enough to clean her own car, and I'm happy to do it as her brother, of course. So I know this seat needs everything. So the second application, a full two-step of the 2pH, is going to be Ductilay 1 to 10. Exactly the same with Glico, spraying, scrubbing, and the final step will be rinsing, and after that some dry sucking, so make sure that any moisture is left going out of the seat and getting it as dry as possible, so we don't have to wait too long for the delivery of the car. Especially the fabric can get wet as well as you want, but the foam should be protected from the water. We cannot clean the foam. Maybe you have old cars that have a single layer of fabric like a t-shirt. When you are getting brown stuff coming from the seat, well, the fabric is then so thin that you're probably sucking out anything that's in the foam that should be protected by the fabric. But old cars, remember my 1995, 1996, I forgot. My Audi A8 had single layer fabric. There was a never ending story. It would just keep coming because I was taking it from the foam. Not too much rinsing is necessary, especially when you have Ductilay. Ductilay leaves a fantastic finish left behind. No stickiness, dry to the touch, no streaks. Regenerates almost a regenerative effect because of the cleaning. And you don't need a high-powered steam. Yes, there is some bonus with steam when the fabrics are opening up because of the jet and the water and the heat. But in this case, man, if you just have a vacuum cleaner that can suck water, you're good to go. There is no need for special tools in this operation. It needs to be, for us, it needs to be applicable to everybody. So what would we made a product that's only applicable with steam? We would kill half the market. How many people are actually using steam for the fabrics? Most of the people are using just an extractor. With a little bit of water. Sometimes I tend to not use much water because I told you I don't want to keep that foam as dry as possible. Because it used to be a no cure, no pay operation for me, interiors. If I said I'm going to try, and if I don't get out the stain, you don't have to pay, because a success rate needs to be 100% for detail. There is no such thing. Oh, the car is 99% corrected. 80% of the damages are gone. How do you calculate 80%? It's either clean, or it's gone, or it's not. It's there, whatever. Now I'm moving to the plastics, and this is full off-label. On the armrest, there's some browning. There's probably some skin grease and everything. In combination with the Duo, I'm going to clean the plastics. There is the temperature of the water. There is the time on the surface, very short, and the mechanical action and the dilution. Dilution 1 to 5, Glico. Scrubbing with the pad. There is not much going on these plastics, but I want to generate a clean surface so much that the protection I'm going to add later on is going to adhere more. So if there's no cross-contamination with any old surfactants, we have a higher possibility of the protective product lasting a lot longer. And an operation like this on a door like this takes 1 minute. It is 1 minute to clean that entire door, 2 minutes max for an entire door in combination with a chemical and the scrub pad. No brushes. I don't know who's thinking of this to do this with this. This doesn't generate any brush effect. This is like a, yeah, there's a little bit of agitation going on. So for chemical dispersion, I understand, yes. But if it needs to be clean and professional, it needs to be fast, like this. This is speed. Don't have to wait until the chemical dries up. Can immediately remove it, streak-free finish, ready to go for the protection after that. And now we go for protection. We're going to use Hydra. 1, 2, 3, diluted in water. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. And this is the highest amount of protection I would ever apply on the inside of the car. Anything I've ever found in the inside of the car does not need something like a sealant or anything. Maybe the leather, just to reduce the amount of friction for leather. Not so much for protecting the leather, but to reduce the friction on leather. But this is the highest amount of protection I would go. I've tried this on a couple of cars. I used it also on my car because I have sticky plastic. And you have to shake very well to get this product divided with the water, to soluble it into the water. And then I'm going to use the simple application by spraying it onto the surface. Don't need dwelling time, and I can immediately remove it with dispersing the product and then generating a homogeneous finish, making sure that everything is the same all over the place. I'm losing a little bit for much product. In this case, I'm trying, of course, to see which generates the best result, because a 1 to 3 dilution makes it a pretty freaking cheap, in my opinion. And to finish it off, I'm using the most delicate towel in the industry right now for interiors, the Interior Ideale. The blue one I use for the Hydra. Later on, I'm probably going to use the white one or the light blue one for the Derma Sealant to see if the application went completely, perfectly well. Make sure I got a clean surface, no more dirt left, no more residues coming off. I'm not a 50-50 kind of a guy, but I had to show you what it can do. 1 to 3 Hydra gives you a perfect natural finish. No extreme shiny, especially on the dash in the front. Again, you don't want to have too much reflections from the dash to your front windshield when you're driving in sunlight. You will see FA. You will not see very much because of the lighting. And on this panel, I'm using it on my car, which has the old Audi A4 2002 sticky plastics. And getting it on the sticky plastics is not a challenge. It was to see if it can generate a silkiness, that the stickiness of the plastic became a little bit less. Again, a 50-50 just to show you what the product can do on a plastic like that. And the wipe off is like a dream. I would say if you are really cheating, you could say if there's a little bit of dust inside, because you're using a towel, you might as well use this product immediately. If you just see a little bit of dust, you don't need a chemical to clean that off. The wipe with the microfiber in combination with Hydra is going to pretty much remove anything on there. Only if there's any stuck dirt, like dirt, grime, a little bit of sand, mud, stuff like that, that needs to be removed. The other part I used it for, because we came out of the winter, cleaning the door rubbers. In this case, getting rid of any salts, residues that coming off. Use Ductilere, use Glico. Whatever is necessary to get rid of those inorganic contaminations from the door rubbers. And then just give it a little wipe with Hydra 1 to 3. Remove any residue. Now, off-label. It's not on the bottle, but I'm telling you, Derma Cleaner 1 to 5. It is very nice, it's very beautiful, it has a pH of 8, as I memorized myself when I was going to the lab to try this out, because my sister has damaged leather. That means I'm already not able to clean this anymore, because any chemical I put on there or I spray on there is going to go into the leather, into a part where I'm not going to get it out. Any cracks, crevices show you that the top coat has been damaged. Therefore, I cannot assume, the most dangerous word in the detailing industry, assume that the chemical is only going to stay onto the surface. So with extreme light agitation, no pressure whatsoever, I'm using the synthetic bristles from the Duo scrub pad to agitate at a very low level and not making it too wet, because I don't want those chemicals to disappear into the leather, causing something called hydrolyzation, as Andreas taught me. Because leather cleaning, I threw everything out of the window and when I started meeting Andreas and he told me anything I needed to know about leather. And especially the leather cleaning that I did, he told me about if you use this product on your sheet, you're gonna get hydrolyzation. He was right. My sheet didn't melt. It didn't melt, but it was sticky and it was disgusting. In this case, it's a repeated application, so I'm not going to use force, I'm not going to use strong chemicals. I'm going to use the 1 to 5 dilution of Derma in combination with mechanical action from the Duo to remove anything that needs to be removed before I'm going to apply a sealant. So a slight application, looking, see how it aired up, see how it cleared up. Do not use too much friction, please people, because we cannot see if the top coat is destroyed, even if it looks in a good condition. It's something that has been shown through a video of Andreas showing that any brush from the detailing industry damages the top coat. The only downside is it's a matte surface. So before we're going to see damages, we are going to be in a couple of years before that will be shown. But we dramatically reduce the lifespan of the leather by using harsh chemicals. Should they still be used? There will be occasions where there is the alternative of scrubbing, damaging the leather too much, that the balance of a chemical versus mechanical action needs to be divided in a situation where it needs to be done like that. Ductile application maybe once or twice in the entire lifespan of the leather, because there's not much what a leather seat can take, and especially with all the things that we do, the rubbing, the friction and everything. And you have to treat this like paint, because there's nothing left inside making this leather. Everything that used to be leather, the skin part, is completely dyed. The chemical process, I've seen how they do it. It's an amazing process to watch. But to find out that this leather is being either printed or has a stamped with the structure, gets a base coat, gets a primer, gets a color, and then gets a top coat, it's just like freaking paint. But it's matte, so we have limitations in what we can do. Lucky these were half leather seats, I like that very much. A little bit of both, so I had a perfect demo of fabrics and leathers and just protection. And this does not need to be a very costly operation, does not need to take very much time. And also here, gentleness. I'm not using force, I'm not even using the power of the foam. I'm literally just grazing the surface, staying under what normal conditions would be like. I mean, a jeans is also something that rubs the surface. But also with the microfiber, be careful, use high quality microfiber, don't use too much friction, because microfibers also have these hookly fibers. Magic sponge is out. Brushes are out. This is probably one of the few tools in combination with the Ninja scrub pad that you can use safely on leather, if I'm not making any statement that I'm lying, because I don't want to lie. So if Andreas is watching this video, I'll probably get my ass kicked after that I said something wrong and I have to make a rectification about what I said was wrong. For the protection of the leather, it's going to be Derma Sealant. Derma Sealant video online on Labocosmetica channel is pretty freaking interesting to see how much they did to generate and create this product. It is not a coating, it is a sealant. It is something additional on top of the top coat of the leather to reduce friction, stains, UV, jeans transfer, color transfer. Hydrophobics, I don't need the hydrophobics because the top coat should be hydrophobic by itself, but if not, there is at least something that you can put on the leather in the name of Derma Sealant to generate less friction. Use it on an applicator, rub it into the surface, make sure that you get the leather, don't need to use force or friction, but go back and forth very gently a couple of times to make sure that all the texture of the leather has been touched with Derma Sealant. Immediately wipe it off with a clean, perfectly dry microfiber. Make sure that there is no dirt left into the towel. that you can see when I'm using a light colored microfiber. The application I do is 2 times. I do it once and then I wait 20 minutes and I reapply. It's simply because it's very difficult to see where I went. The double application is not going to generate too much silkiness that you're going to shoot off your seat when you punch the brakes at a traffic light. You will still have a very nice homogenic surface to see that the coverage of the product is perfect, the wipe off is easy, and you at least have something to put on the leather to dramatically reduce the wear and tear of the leather. The last part of the cleaning is the windows, of course, the windows. And for that, it is time for Nitido. I have a light that I like to use here. It's the light of a green LED light. And the green LED light shows me perfectly where there is any greasiness left from the window cleaning. Now, Nitido is a very easy to use product. It is very important that to understand you have to get into the mind of Labocosmetica, meaning there is no other glass cleaner that you can compare with Nitido. So use a different approach. Use less product first. Use a different type of towel. See which one works best. I saw something coming up in the Labocosmetica tips and tricks group that somebody had streaks with Nitido. I've tried it. I can only see an over application of the product generating something like streaks, but for the rest, inside, outside, 50 degrees, 150 degrees, -5, it does not matter. Nitido works all the time. It's dual klima. Means in cold temperatures and hot temperatures, outside, direct sunlight, no limitations. It is inherent on any of the surfaces. The plastics, the leather, doesn't leave any marks, doesn't leave any streaks. It is fantastic against nicotine and glycerine. Glycerine, Reggie? Yes, it's stuff from the vape. It is an acidic glycerine coming from the vape. Well, this is not a very good move, but it's an acidic, and you also have Nitido to help you remove that very nicely. To generate the nicest application of this product, you have to use the Derma Sealant sprayer. It makes more like a spitting, because if you do a good application of Nitido, there's no dripping. There's no product dripping down into the side of the window, where later on, when you're moving up and down the window, it's going to get you some streaks back from the application. I'm going to show you another application a little bit so we can see the streaking, if not. So you see that the last couple of drops from the Nitido is always a spit from this sprayer. So those drops are probably the only drops that are going to drip down. But just one wipe should be able to remove anything you need without leaving any streaks. Because the challenge is to generate a glass cleaner that you can clean the entire glass from the car inside and out with only 1 or 2 towels. Maybe 1 to clean, 1 to refinish. I may show something in the future, if I'm allowed, that maybe makes glass cleaning obsolete. But I don't want to throw stuff out there, anything that you might not know. You understand me what I'm saying. I don't want to make any promises because these product hooligans are driving me freaking crazy. When is it coming out? I need it, yada, yada, yada. Checking with the light, as you can see, no streaks, no nicks, no nothing. Refinishing. I might need to do new polish on my front windshield. I will give you that. It need a little bit. Or I'm just going to hit it and make a crack in it and then take the insurance for a new front windshield. But before that, I'm going to deplete all the options I have with polishing and cleaning. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been walking through 48 minutes and something of footage. If you are watching this still, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you the next time where we are going to do some extensive on other products that I have questions about. If you have any other news or suggestions or products combinations that you would like to see, then let me know, please let me know, and I will try to make a video for you. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you next time. My name is Reggie Cox.